By the end of this video, you'll know how to keep more money in your pocket, outsmart the biggest players in real estate, and possibly even get your future dream home without selling your soul or your wallet. And here's the kicker. We've got a secret rebate program that could put cash back in your pocket after closing. But more on that later. Stick around because what I'm about to reveal could change the way you think about buying or selling a home forever. Let's jump into this game-changing info. If you've been following the real estate news since August 17th, you've probably heard about the big changes coming to the traditional 6% realtor commission.
There is a big change to the way that brokers' fees are handled during the sale of a home.
And today, we're breaking down what this means for both home buyers and sellers, and how these new regulations could change the way you approach buying or selling a home. So let's dive right in. Traditionally, when selling a home, the seller's agent would charge a 5 or 6% commission, split between the buyers and seller's agents. But with these new regulations, that's all about to change. Now, agents will have to negotiate their own commission, giving more power to the consumer. This shift means that as home buyer, you'll now be responsible for negotiating your own commission with your agent. This is a big change because it impacts how agents will charge for their services. Some agents might move towards charging flat fees, hourly rates, or even retainers instead of the traditional commission percentage. It's going to be interesting to see how different agents adapt to these changes. But what about sellers? Well, realtors might still ask sellers for compensations. Sellers will now have the option to agree or push back, perhaps even splitting the commission with the buyer's agent. In some cases, sellers might try to negotiate for the home buyer to pay the entire buyer's commission. This is where things get a bit more complicated and why it's more important than ever to have a trusted agent on your side. One thing to note is that the compensation for the buyer's agent can no longer be posted on the MLS. This adds another layer of negotiation as the details of compensation won't be as transparent as before. There's also some concern about how this will impact home buyers financially. With sellers potentially refusing to cover the buyer's agent commission, buyers may need to bring more cash to the closing table. This could be a significant factor for first-time home buyers or those who are already stretching their budgets. Imagine you're buying a home for $500,000 with a 10% down payment. That's a $50,000 plus closing cost. Previously, the seller would pay a 6% commission split between the buyer's and seller's agent, which in this case would be $30,000. But with the new rules, if the seller is not providing a concession to the buyer's agent and the buyer agrees to a 3% commission, they'll need to come up with an extra $15,000, making their total upfront cost $65,000 plus closing costs. For buyers concerned about these new costs, here's my advice. Look for properties that are slightly cheaper or negotiate a lower purchase price to account for the commission you'll need to pay. And remember, when buying a home, you need more than just your down payment and closing costs. You should also have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up just in case. Another major change is that home buyers are not required to sign an agreement with their buyer's agent before they can tour a home, whether in person or virtually. This agreement outlines the term of the relationship, including the commission structure. It's a new step in the home buying process that everyone will need to get used to. We've provided a sample of our buyer agreement in the description below, so be sure to check that out if you're curious about what it entails. It's clear that these new rules will bring some growing pains, not just for customers, but for the real estate market as a whole. Both buyers and sellers will need to navigate this new landscape, which could lead to more complex negotiations and longer transaction times. However, in the long run, we believe this will be more beneficial, especially for sellers.
These new times that we're facing as agents, and what does the commission mean for both home buyers and home sellers. So we found this article on bankrate.com. We're going to put the link in the description below. It's called Realtor Commission Changes Are Here, What They Mean for Home Buyers and Sellers. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but I do want to showcase some parts that I found very interesting, and I want to share it with you guys. So they're also talking about what's changing. Does this mean real estate commissions are now negotiable? Just to be clear, real estate commissions have always been negotiable. So this isn't something that has really changed. It's more so how it's gonna play out. Okay, so here, is this good or bad for consumers? Until we see how things shake out over time, the answer really depends on who you ask. Some foresee near nirvana consumers. Vishal Garg, CEO of mortgage company Better predicts the Senate will unleash a price war. Buyer agents will begin competing fiercely for clients. Others fear a dark turn. Ken H. Johnson, a real estate economist at Florida Atlantic University and a former real estate broker, says the new rules just add another layer of complexity to an already confusing process. No longer advertising buyer-agent commissions will only create a more confused and drawn-out transaction process, as buyers, sellers, and agents will have to negotiate the fee, who will pay for it, and how much will be paid by each party, Johnson says. Due to this added level of complexity, buyers will almost certainly have to negotiate with more sellers before they find the deal they're satisfied with. Thus, the house hunting period will extend for the average buyer. I think just like anything else, changes take time for people to adjust. Is this a big change? Yes. Is this good or bad? Only time will tell. I think it's important to see how this plays out and really try to find, maybe if you want to work with an agent, find an agent that will work with your, you can always negotiate, as I mentioned before. So that's something that is very big to understand as consumers. You can negotiate your commission. Number two, some agents won't necessarily charge you a fixed commission. They'll charge you maybe a flat fee. So you can see what works for you and what will work for the agent you're gonna be working with. Here's another part: concerns for first-time buyers. Many in the real estate industry worry that first-time home buyers, those who need expert guidance the most and who are already severely hampered by high prices and high mortgage rates, will be priced out of professional representation. If commissions no longer come out of the seller's proceeds, the thinking goes buyers won't have an additional $7,500 or $10,000 to pay an agent. And of course, this is something to think about. That's why, and I can't state this enough, you have to see what works for you. And also you have to see what is your price point. Maybe now as a buyer, of course, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more upfront, but definitely try to find a deal that's worth your time. Most of those buyers are scraping the barrel to the bottom to come up with a down payment, says Dave Linger, chairman and co-founder of Remax. For now, buyers can roll commission costs into mortgages under the new rules, but industry players widely expect the Federal Housing Finance Agency, overseer of mortgage giant Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, to change those rules. So at least, hopefully, who knows how long this is going to take, but there's a silver lining. Maybe this will come into play, right? So we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. I think there's going to be pressure on them to allow that, Lineker says. The industry needs first-time buyers. Indeed, NAR already has been attempting to nudge the mortgage industry in that direction. We're talking with Freddie and Fannie to see what can be done, says Lawrence Yun, NAR's chief economist. So there's something to maybe look into and to definitely be paying attention what's going to be happening, since the rules for realtors have changed. Now this is also going to change other rules for other industries. So this is definitely something very interesting that we should all really always be paying attention. And I hope this was helpful for you.
As investors and agents ourselves, we see this as a potential positive shift, especially for sellers who may have more flexibility in how they handle commissions. For home buyers, though, it's going to be even more important to work with an agent you trust, someone who can guide you through these extra layers of negotiation and ensure you're getting the best deal possible. For those of you who are looking for new construction homes that meet certain criteria, we may have a way to get extra money in your pocket with our rebate program. If you're interested in learning more about this program, don't hesitate to contact us. We'd love to help maximize your savings. What do you think about these new changes? Will this impact your decision to buy or sell a home? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.